Welcome back to the realm, lords and ladies. I am the Goat King, and recently we've talked about playing healers in Pathfinder, as well as playing tanks. It seems only appropriate that we talk about the DPS next. But first, what does DPS even mean? DPS originates from online gaming and stands for damage per second. After being adapted by the wider gaming community, DPS came to be used to refer to any character or strategy that produces significant amounts of damage. For this video, we won't be talking about casters. In the Pathfinder community, the DPS caster or blaster caster lost favor with the changes 2E made to casting. That isn't to say blaster casters aren't worth talking about. In fact, casters deserve a series of videos of their own. Everything we do talk about today can be found in the core rulebook or advanced player's guide. There are 3 tricks of the DPS Trade in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. First, and perhaps most obvious, you need to hit the enemy. Hitting them a lot, or critically hitting, are very nice too. Next, you want the biggest weapon you can effectively wield, as well as the highest stat bonus you can throw at the damage. And, if you're really crafty, you want to add some bonus damage on top from poisons, magic, or sheer craftiness. For stats, you will most likely want to top off your strength. However, there are a few builds that benefit from other stats, particularly dexterity or intelligence. As for ancestry, look out for ones that give you access to particularly large or brutal weapons. The Barbarian is the most obvious choice for a DPS build. Strength-focused and empowered by rage, no other class offers as much upfront damage in melee. Unfortunately, Barbarians fall off hard with ranged attacks. They lose the benefit of their strength with most ranged attacks and the benefit from raging on all ranged attacks. Champions may be a surprising addition to this list, but they just squeeze in. Increasing the damage die of their simple weapon or grabbing a martial weapon, they charge into battle with divine effectiveness against a specific group of enemies. How could a video like this have any self-respect if it didn't mention the fighter? As the only class that starts with expert proficiency in their weapons, the fighter makes its name in combat on accuracy. Not only landing more hits, but also more critical hits. Attack of Opportunity gives you the ability to punish enemies that get a little too cocky. The fighter also gets feats to increase their attack speed or overall power. Last but not least, the fighter isn't particularly punished for using ranged options. If the fighter is the accurate DPS, the monk is the fast DPS. Monks strike fast with flurry of blows while taking advantage of stances to gain access to powerful attacks like Dragon Tail. Monks also pull on their focus of mind and presence of body to empower their attacks with Key Strike. They do tend to be a little lacking in the range department, however. I must admit, before this video, I hadn't spent much time thinking about the Ranger. But Rangers make bonkers DPS characters. Rangers are trained in martial weapons, and they make excellent use of those weapons. Rangers choose a target with their hunt-prey action, and this target becomes the focus of all their most powerful abilities. Rangers have 2 subclasses with the most potential for this build. Precision adds extra damage every round to the first attack against your hunted prey. Precision is most useful for ranged-focused Rangers. Flurry Ranger vastly reduces your penalties to multiple attacks, allowing you to land vastly more hits and crits on your hunted prey. Beyond their subclass, Rangers also have various feats that are quite useful as well. Crossbow Ace and Gravity Weapon both increase your damage output directly, while Hunted Shot and Twin Takedown improve your action efficiency, allowing you to perform more attacks in the same period of time. While Ranger is the focused DPS character, Rogue is the clever DPS. Rogue may only have proficiency with select martial weapons, but they take full advantage of what they are given access to. Whether you choose the Ruffian to expand your weapon selection, or the Thief to boost your damage using your dexterity, you will spend your combat opportunistically scoring massive damage with your sneak attack dice. And thankfully for the Rogue, they can sneak attack with ranged attacks as well. Investigator strides in as the smart DPS. Using devise a stratagem to attack only when most advantageous, they add their intelligence to the damage as well as an additional d6 of precision damage. Last, but not to be forgotten, is the Swashbuckler. Charging in with full access to martial weapons, the Swashbuckler makes their name on flashy moves and tricks. After performing feats of skill or daring, the Swashbuckler begins to find purchase with their weapon. This all leads up to a confident finisher that pays off and sets up even more daring performances. Swashbucklers in combat as a DPS deploy their most powerful attacks after charging up with actions specific to their subclass. Moving on to archetypes, we start with the Assassin. After choosing a specific foe, assassins empower their weapons to be more deadly when taking the target by surprise. Next, the dual weapon warrior uses 2 weapons to ensure the accuracy of repeated attacks. The Mauler takes full advantage of very large weapons, never swinging with anything less than a d8, and, very often, wielding a weapon that holds a d12 for damage. The Poisoner empowers their attacks with deadly concoctions, and works to ensure these poisons take great effect. Moving on to equipment, a DPS character has one focus: weapons. A few of the classes we talked about have specific weapon limitations: agile or finesse, restricted die size, limited access, and having a weapon favored by your deity. Keep these in mind to ensure your other strengths and abilities continue to function as normal. After that, we're trying to maximize die size to get the most damage per attack. Then, we have a few weapon traits to keep in mind. Backstabber adds a +1 precision damage to attacks against flat-footed targets. Deadly adds extra damage dice to a critical hit after doubling the normal damage. Fatal increases your die size on a crit and adds an extra die of damage after rolling and doubling the upgraded damage. Forceful adds bonus circumstance damage to your weapon as you chain attacks. Propulsive allows you to add half your strength to ranged attack damage. Thrown allows for a ranged attack that adds your full strength to damage. Twin functions similarly to Forceful, adding extra damage on subsequent attacks, but only if you're wielding 2 of that weapon. Agile weapons have reduced multiple attack penalties, but they also tend to have smaller die sizes. Backswing gives you a circumstance bonus on your next attack after missing. Finesse allows you to add your dexterity modifier to your attack roll rather than your strength, if you happen to have a much higher dexterity. Reach extends your 5-foot normal reach out to 10. Sweep gives you a +1 circumstance bonus if you've attempted to attack a different target that round. Any conversation about weapons is not fully complete without also covering enchantments with runes. Weapon potency runes provide a bonus to attack rolls and allow property runes to be added to the weapon. This bonus can be up to +3. Striking runes increase the number of damage dice the weapon deals, up to a total of 4. There are also various runes for adding specific types of damage. Axiomatic, Anarchic, Holy, and Unholy all add alignment-based damage to your weapon. Corrosive, Disrupting, Flames, Frost, Shock, and Thundering all add elemental or energy damage to your weapon. I feel like I should do a much more detailed video on weapon runes in the future, as they're most certainly deserving of it. But for now, that is the tricks of the DPS trade. I have been the Goat King. Come back again next week for more Pathfinder and Starfinder, and have a great day.